Okay. Hello. Welcome. Welcome back to another one of my streams. You have to ignore the little bloody Wi-Fi booster. It's the only way I can stream nowadays without it fucking breaking. So, oh, it's just gone orange. Welcome back. Another stream. Leia is joining us, as you can see here. Fantastic. How's everyone doing? Thank you very much for coming back to another stream. Out the door, Leia. Down by there. We're just going to go straight into the game, really, but hope you're having a very nice Saturday. She's just staring at me. I've just realised I've got the audio on my phone, so let's turn that down so you don't get feedback. How's your Saturday going? What are your plans? Let's move over to the game. We can catch up while we're playing the game, can't we? Let's get the music off. The game on. Hopefully you can hear that now. Let's load it up. Let's load up our save file. And if you remember last time we played the goat. She jumped up here. Yes, she has. Okay. So yeah, we managed to get past the goat in the last one. Let me just shut my... Oh, this fucking cat is in here, so I'll shut her in. Okay. The last time we managed to get past the goat. We are now... Well, I haven't looked around here at all, so I guess we can just have a look at what stuff is. Right.
The sack contained a fine white powder.
Okay. Let me know if it's too loud, too quiet as well.
The bench had probably been used by Pegram and his archaeological team.
We're in Ireland, remember. I'm not going to fully recap on the last episode. If you haven't seen it, then...
The only object on the table which interested me was a small sack.
Which is this?
As I dipped my fingers into the soft white powder, I realized what it was. Plaster of Paris.
Oh.
I'd used it in kindergarten to make casts of animal paw prints.
Okay, so we've got some plaster of Paris. What else do we have? Gotcha.
It was a statue which had fallen from its place on the wall. 5 fingers of stone projected from the back of the carving.
Okay, can I pick it up? Because it looks like it just fits in there.
The statue was too heavy to lift. It overbalanced into the sand.
Pick it back up. Okay, so
as I swung the stone upright, I noticed it had left a pattern of holes in the sand.
Just gathering info.
There was a pattern of 5 holes arranged on the wall. They'd been drilled there deliberately.
Okay. I need to put something in there.
I placed my fingers and thumb into the holes in the wall. Nothing happened.
You don't say. Okay.
Behind the altar was a carved panel, decorated with animals, birds, and plants.
I'm assuming with the plaster of Paris I have to, like...
I tried in vain to move the panel.
Right. No, not that. I need water. Isn't that like drenched in beer or something?
That is not a good idea.
I had a random thought. If I can wet... Right, because you're stuck now. If I can wet the plaster, or wet the beer towel, come back here, mix the wet beer towel with the plaster of Paris, put that on the floor, let that fall, and then it'll make an imprint in the plaster, which I can then use as a key. This might be completely crazy, and there's probably a much easier solution. And I'm having to travel a long way to do this, but I'll try it. Let's try it. Can I just go straight down? Probably not.
It wasn't my...
Okay, okay. Let me go through the bar first. Hope I have a nice weekends, by the way. Let me know if you're up to anything interesting. So I think there was a sink downstairs. Can't remember if it worked or not, though. Yes, so let's try this. Bar towel with the faucet.
The slow drip of water barely dampened the towel.
Oh, I need to turn it on. Okay,
The
right. Then beer towel, faucet. Hope this works. Will that be now a dampened towel?
I held the towel under the faucet and soaked it with water.
And now we'll try and go back. Or do I need to do it here? Just don't want to have to go all the way back. Can I?
That is not a good idea.
While I'm here, let me just try all the combinations. What if I wetted the plaster? You know what I mean? I mean, the fact that I can wet this.
The towel was already as wet.
Okay, so maybe it'll stay wet now. That's fine. That's all I need to know. I just don't want it to dry out. Let's go back. Said it before I say it again, this game is so pretty. So pretty. It's a shame you can't double tap when you want to like go to the edge of the screen and then like he runs or whatever like other point-and-clicks do. That's an angry goat. Okay. Now then, can I put the plaster on the floor?
I sprinkled the plaster on the sand until the holes were filled.
Can I rinse this over the plaster?
The trickle of water was quickly absorbed by the plaster.
Can I try and pick this up, fail, and tip it over? Move it.
It was a 5...
No! What? Why am I doing that? Last time you try and pick it up.
I eased the solid piece of plaster from the sand. Underneath, it had formed a perfect
so in my
copy
head,
of the statue.
You had the plaster on the floor, and then the statue would imprint them, but obviously it's enough that it's just over the top of the holes. Ignore me.
The hardened plaster cast fitted snugly into the 5 matching sockets. There was a soft thud, then silence.
There we go. That's the first time I've just quickly figured something out.
A flight of stairs led down into darkness.
Bit scary. Okay. So yeah, we learned in the last stream that there's some sort of hidden treasure somewhere that belongs to, like, I don't know if it belongs to the Knights Templar or what, but I think it does. Whoa. back in Nico's apartment. Why? What's happening while we're gone?
So, where did you stay
Whoa.
last night?
At
That's a quick trip
McDevitt's.
back.
I got to drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Did he snore?
Hardly. He was dead. Then Leary woke me in the middle of the night to help bail out the cellar.
The cellar was flooded?
Yeah, some idiot had left the faucet running.
And you say Pegram has disappeared?
Without a trace.
Whoops.
But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Got to turn off the faucet.
Pegram's gem?
The Templars gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
I've been reading about Pegram in this magazine.
Why am I not sitting in the chair?
The media got its claws on him.
Yeah, if I was his agent, I'd get him to lose the pipe.
That dig must have been pretty important to him. He resigned his chair at Durham University to go to Ireland. And now he's disappeared.
Wow.
See what you can find out about Professor Pegram.
I'll speak to the university. What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man. What do you know about Professor Pegram?
I've seen a television program, Pegram's Past. He's written a book, The Crusader Families of Ireland.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Already done all of these, right? Don't need to do them again.
I can't sit here all day, much as I'd like to.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lobineau at the Kron Museum. And why don't you see if Rosso has heard anything?
Okay. Anything else I can do for you while I'm out? Shopping, a trip to the laundromat?
Just take care of yourself.
Who is Rosso? I can't remember who Rosso is. I've got a bit about the museum. If Rosso has heard anything. Oh, I got that back. Coronation artifact from Lochmarn Castle. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So, the museum. And then something about, I don't know who she said. She said, see if so-and-so has heard anything, but I've already been here. And I don't understand how you're meant to recover that, but this person wasn't here before.
He was a thin-faced, pallid guy with a questionable taste in outlandish clothes. My mother used to dress like that.
Okay, who are you?
I beg your pardon. Are you André Lobineau?
That's me. You want my autograph?
No. I was told you may be able to help me.
Help?
My name is George Stobart. I'd like your professional opinion.
Well, okay. Shoot.
Does the name Montfaucon mean anything to you?
Sure. It was the most grisly spectacle in Paris until the Revolution.
A public toilet?
Montfaucon was the place of execution for many thousands. A dark temple of death, with row upon row of arches, each one framing a grim exhibit. Scores of rotting corpses swung on creaking rope, while the crows devoured their flesh.
That explains the image of the hanged man. I found a reference to Montfaucon in Ireland, in a village called Lochmarn.
Lochmarn? That's where Pegram was digging.
That's right. He'd left the excavation before I arrived. Do you know Pegram well?
Not really. I met him at a conference. I would have liked to talk to him in depth, but I didn't have time.
When was this?
Oh, back in the summer, July, I think.
The second week of July?
Maybe. Yes, it was, just before Bastille Day.
So Pegram was in Paris at the same time as the other victims.
Pardon? Victims of what?
Nothing. Just thinking aloud.
Sounds like I need a trip to Paris.
Where was the site of Montfaucon?
To the northeast, near the Canal Saint-Martin, but there's nothing there now. The old gibbet was torn down during the Revolution.
What can you tell me about Philippe le Bel?
He was responsible for the extermination of the Knights Templar.
I know that, but why was Philip so hot to get rid of them?
Mostly because he wanted to get his hands on their treasure. He had an enormous debt and a lifelong war with England to fund. The trouble was, the Templars were a highly respected holy order.
If the Templars were so powerful, how did this Philippe dude wipe them out?
By underhanded, dishonorable means, of course. The Pope was Clement V, a Frenchman.
French, huh? Handy for Philippe.
Fate had nothing to do with it. He was Philippe's puppet, planted to further his political ambitions. Philippe wanted the wealth of the Templars and used Clement to get it.
So what was Philippe's plan? What happened?
Sealed orders were sent out all over France, not to be opened until the appointed day. That day was Friday, July 13th. That's the origin of our superstition regarding that date. At dawn, throughout the whole of France, the Templars were arrested. It was the biggest bust in the history of the world.
What happened to the Templars after their arrest?
Philippe was out for blood, so he handed the Templars over to the Inquisition. Not surprisingly, they confessed to a sensational and sordid list of blasphemies.
Like what?
Oh, the sort of things you read about in the gutter press. Devil worship, lewd sexual practices, spitting on the Holy Cross, that kind of thing.
Well, that must have given their lawyers some headaches.
Whether or not the accusations were true, this was not good publicity. Most of the charges were probably cooked up, but so were the Templars, literally. Hundreds of them were found guilty of heresy and flame-grilled at the stake. They died protesting their innocence.
But surely Philippe had no proof of his charges against the Templars.
A man will admit anything under torture. The Inquisition fabricated some nonsensical demon called Baphomet, and then suggested to the victims that this was what they worshipped.
But they didn't have to agree.
The records show a Templar coming to trial with both feet burnt off. Fragments of flesh and charred bone falling from the stumps.
Yeah.
What would you not admit to stop such torment?
So there was no truth at all in the Baphomet accusations?
Not a shred. Almost every victim described the idol differently. No, Baphomet never existed outside the sick minds of the Inquisitors.
So Philippe stole the Templars' riches, huh?
Oh no, they weren't stupid. The king's troops marched first on the temple in Paris, then to the Templar home port at La Rochelle. There was no trace of the treasure, and the fleet of the Knights Templar had set sail.
Yes, it was never found.
I'd like your opinion on a medieval manuscript.
Vraiment? Do you have it with you?
No, it's too fragile. And besides, there are certain people who'd stop at nothing to get their hands on it.
Intriguing. Do you have a copy of the text?
There isn't much, only a few Latin phrases. I was kind of hoping you'd help decipher the pictures.
Without seeing the manuscript, that's a tall order.
Just tell me one thing. What does the image of two men riding on the same horse suggest to you?
The Knights Templar. Does the Templar seal appear on this manuscript? I'd love to see that for myself.
Can you tell me anything about the Knights Templar?
I sure can, Georgie. Soldiers, diplomats, mercenaries, monks, bankers, you name it, the Templars fit the bill. The greatest fighting force in Christendom, the militia of Christ.
Jeez. How did the Templars get their name?
From the building in which they set up their headquarters. The King of Jerusalem gave them part of a mosque on the Temple Mount. It was said to have been the site of the original Temple of Solomon. The order became known first as the Knights of the Temple, and later as the Knights Templar.
You're a mine of information, Andre.
It really is.
Glad to be of help, Georgie.
Why are we Georgie?
How come the Templars became so wealthy?
There was a constant stream of new recruits to their ranks, many from noble families. They were required to swear a sacred oath of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So, their money, goods, and lands were donated to the order. The Templars soon held land in France, Scotland, England, Spain, most of Europe, in fact. The poor Knights of Christ became the wealthiest power in Christendom.
Oh, bless her. Bless her, bless her.
Is it true the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found?
Who knows? So little knowledge of what really happened remains. Or, if it does, the truth has never been made public.
What do you mean by that?
The Templars have attained mythological status, like the King Arthur of the Britons. There are people even now who say the Templars still exist.
Do you think that's likely?
No,
I
not for
think
a
it's
minute.
likely.
The manuscript is being looked after by a friend.
In Paris?
Yeah, not far from here, in fact.
Well, just give me the address and I'll come round and take a look.
I'm not so sure about that.
Mhm.
Maybe I should check with her first.
A female friend?
Yeah, she's a woman. Maybe it was my imagination, but I
Hmm.
noticed a predatory look in his eye. Suddenly, this friendly historian had turned into the big bad wolf. This friend who has the manuscript,
Oui, the anonymous girlfriend.
she lives at 361 Rue Jarry.
Ah, I know it well. I'll drop by. Just as soon as I can.
I did not know that. He literally just said check with a friend first.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Oh my word. What am I meant to do then? Let me just get a hint. To point me in the right direction. Nico thought that Inspector Russo. Okay, so I didn't know who he meant, but basically he should be at the crime scene. That's so stupid that I've just told him the address when I literally said better check with her first. And we said she's got a predatory look in her eye. Just because there's a photo of her, I didn't know that would mean that we're giving him the address. Pardon me. How annoying. Is it Rougerie? No. No, that's her address. Can't go there. No, the cafe. Bloody hell, I'm an idiot. Sent this predator over to her flat. That manuscript is not going to be there when I go. Oh. Interesting. Okay. To the police station. There he is.
Excuse me.
Ah, Monsieur Stobart, n'est-ce pas?
That's correct. You remember me.
The retention of such data is part of my duty as a gendarme. That is how crime is fought, through attention to detail, not intuition.
Yes, sure. Have you heard of a man called Marquet?
Yes. He used to be known as the Mole of Montmartre. I heard he's been hospitalized, probably by one of his rivals.
Which hospital was Marquet taken to?
The Hagenmeyer Clinic, in the Avenue des Hérissons.
Why was Marquet known as the Mole of Montmartre?
Because he lived in Montmartre, I suppose.
Yeah, but why the mole?
I don't know. Maybe he ruined people's lawns.
Maybe.
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur? Where is the victim?
I'm the victim. I've been harassed by a pair of thugs.
I see. And where did this alleged assault take place?
Outside the Hotel Ubu. They stopped me as I was leaving and went through my pockets.
Could you describe the suspects, monsieur?
One looked like a gorilla, and the other looked like a weasel. Their names are Flap and Guido.
Bon. I'll get them this time.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about Flap and Guido, Sergeant?
I'm going to bust them, monsieur. For years I have been hoping to pin something on that pair. Now's my chance. I'll show them.
There we go.
And the inspector.
Thanks, Sergeant. Thanks for taking me seriously.
I'm only doing my duty, monsieur.
Yep.
Do you know a man named Khan? He's a shifty-looking guy with a scar on his left cheek.
No, monsieur. Has this man any connection with the bombing of the cafe?
Yes. I believe Khan was the name he used when he hired the clown costume. Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak to him?
Not yet.
Not really.
wanna
I
see this
know
one
the
first.
identity of the dead guy. His name was Plantau.
Is that so? You knew him, did you?
No, but
We'll know everything there is to know about him soon enough.
I'm trying to be helpful here.
The best way you can help us is to go home, monsieur.
Don't want to show him any of that. Okay.
Yeah?
I do.
Yes, I do.
One moment, monsieur.
God, that made me jump.
Stop off is here to see you,
Thank you,
monsieur.
thank you, thank you. Thank you for subscribing.
Did he say what it was about?
No, monsieur.
Very well.
Hi, Inspector. Remember me?
But of course, Mr. Stobard. My mind is a well-ordered faculty. A mental classification system that's the envy of the Bibliothèque Nationale. No tricks, mark you, monsieur. Just exercise. Just as our muscles waste through inactivity,
Waffle,
so
waffle,
our
waffle.
minds decay. But there is no need. If only people would learn to exercise their wits daily.
If he was trying to impress me, it worked. He was pompous and patronizing, but he had style.
Eh bien, if you called about the bombing, you're too late. Investigations have been closed.
But
Closed?
I've been taken off the case.
what about the
What do you
murder,
mean?
the dead guy?
It is out of my hands.
Ever heard of a guy called Marquet? Jacques Marquet?
Marquet, I know the name well. He has a record for suspected blackmail, kidnapping, arson, and art theft.
An all-rounder, huh? How come he's on the loose?
His bravado is matched only by the courtroom skills of his attorney.
Have you heard of the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. But of course, monsieur, their fame is widespread throughout France. We haven't forgotten them, unlike the rest of Europe.
It was the King of France who persecuted them, though.
Indeed.
That shook his cool. Underneath his cultured facade, the man was real twitchy. You're obviously a great admirer of the Knights Templar.
They were men of great honor, monsieur. The flower of chivalry.
Not everyone would share your views, Inspector.
Love it, the sergeant's
Not
just in between us.
everyone shares my passion for Bartok.
But if the Templars were as honorable as...
That's enough. I do not wish to hear your uninformed opinions, Stobard.
Tough.
Why do you get so wound up about the Knights Templar? They've been dead for centuries. I shouldn't have pushed my luck. Maybe his ancestors were Templars. Whatever. I saw the anger flare in his eyes.
The Templars were the first true internationalists. 800 years on, and still the world is fragmented by nationalistic flag-waving fools. You will excuse me.
Shit. No! I had other things to ask you now. Shouldn't have pushed my luck. Can you get him back?
Excuse...
What do you...
Can you get him back, please?
Yes?
Please.
Yeah.
One-
Promise I won't ask you anything else about the Knights Templar, please.
It's Stobart, monsieur. He insists on talking to you again.
Thank you, Moo.
He's forgiven me. Quiz him straight away again about the Knights
What
Templar.
now?
Okay, I can't. That's fine.
Have you heard of Professor Pegram, the archaeologist?
Molly Pegram? The second son of Lord Barclay Pegram?
Well, I don't know. I only read about him in a
I
magazine.
need to check.
So much for the efficacy of rehabilitation. What has he done this time?
No, everything's
He
fine.
made an important archaeological find in Ireland. Do you know Pegram well?
I have connections with the family, but I wouldn't say I knew him at all.
Is his name really Molly?
Of course not. That was the nickname he was given at school. All his friends and acquaintances know him as Molly.
He loved the drugs.
Don't you want to know what I found out about the killer?
I told you, monsieur, the case is closed. I have washed my hands of the whole
What
affair.
in the fucking
Then I'll have to
corruption
continue my
bullshit is
investigations
this?
without your help.
No. You must forget the business of the clown completely. Go back to being an ordinary tourist, Stobard.
No, I'm a self-proclaimed detective.
Do you know a pair of thugs called Flap and Guido?
I have known those two since they graduated from special school. Flap is a nasty piece of work, but Guido is the real brains of the partnership. Where did you hear of them?
I met them out front of the Hotel Ubu. Did you find out the ID of the guy who was killed in the explosion?
I already knew who he was.
I heard that the bomb victim's name was Plantar.
Your sources are reliable.
He was a big shot at the Treasury, wasn't he? Maybe that's why you've been taken off the case.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I cannot comment.
What was that psycho-detective business you did in the cafe?
It is my theory that the passions evoked in violent crimes create ripples in the ether, invisible to all but the possessor of a highly developed and receptive mind.
I'm impressed. Can you bend spoons, too?
I didn't think a man of your obvious intelligence would stoop to mockery.
I'm not mocking. I've had personal experience of the power of the mind. I used to get ignored at parties until I read a book that changed my life.
Really? What was it called?
Hypnotism for fun and profit. He looked at me as if I'd farted at a funeral.
The power of mesmerism is a rare gift, not a party trick.
You're not gonna try any of that psychic interrogation on me, are you?
Do you find the thought of my probing distasteful?
Let's just say I'd rather you didn't. I've got more doubts than doubting Thomas when it comes to mysticism.
Too bad. I think you would make an interesting subject under controlled regression.
The day I let anyone mess with my mind hasn't dawned yet. So long, Inspector.
What now? We go back to the apartment? And tell her what? Tell her that they've closed the case, which is absolute bullshit. Oh, but we do have Montfaucon. We didn't have before. I can't remember what the significance of this place is.
A typically Parisian sidewalk cafe. Last time I visited one of those,
True.
it blew up. I decided I was happy enough right where I was.
Well, this might have been the hospital place, but maybe not.
I once read a list of low-stress jobs. It didn't include police work. Obviously, this guy hadn't read the same list.
Have a chin wag with him.
Excuse me, officer.
And how may I help you?
Oh, he's pissed.
Shouldn't you be off directing traffic or something?
You have seen the Parisian traffic, no?
Yeah, so?
I could direct the traffic. The most dangerous, the east side of Rome. Or I can sit here and
It's true.
enjoy the sun, the architecture, and the Sauvignon.
Can't
Which
argue
would
with this
you
logic.
choose?
Yeah, but I'm not a policeman. What happened to duty?
An excellent question, monsieur.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. Only that they were excommunicated in 1312 and hanged in their dozens within this very
Ah,
square.
this is where
Boy, what they teach in the
square is
police
where they
academy
kill
these
those people.
days.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
Okay, yeah, that board over there. Can I get someone with
Would
us,
you like to
please?
shake? I stopped myself barely in time, electrocuting a. They'd
True.
rebuild the Bastille just so they could throw.
True. I don't think I need to show any of these. They're just like
I'll see you
inventory
around.
ones I've got. Okay, so the only other option is the manhole cover, which I could get into, the architecture.
An architectural echo of the gallows that once used to stand here.
Yeah. The manhole cover.
In the middle of the square was a manhole. I wondered if there might be something relevant beneath street level.
As long as the policeman wouldn't say anything.
Fixed to the wall was a sign in 3 languages. In French, English, and German it read, "In 1312, Pope Clement V dissolved the Knightly Order of the Templars and excommunicated its members on charges of heresy. In the following 2 years, many of the knights were hanged on this site. Their Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, was burnt at the stake on an island in the Seine."
Okay. Do that, what should we got there?
An ornate fountain stood in one corner of the square.
We'll go up there first.
I'd
We'll
have
do
to come
everything
by
straight
here in the
level.
summer to see it working. There was no water to frolic about in, and the leaf mold that was collecting there just wasn't the same somehow.
True. Go up here. Oh boy, this looks intimidating. So let's do the manhole first.
Hey,
Yeah, I thought that might happen.
leave that.
Sorry.
Fine.
You.
Need to wait till he's gone. / more drunk.
A row of old pews, beautifully carved and glowing with polish. I thought of all the people who must have sat here over the decades. All those Parisian derrieres, firm buttocks of the young ladies,
It's going to be
the
weird.
flabby flesh of the old men.
It's
That
gonna be weird.
wasn't a pleasing image, so I went back to the young ladies.
Smart.
Whoa! I didn't have time to sit.
Okay, alright, we'll just get a bit further in then, will you?
A knight's tomb, his effigy in marble lying in perpetual state, waiting in prayer for the judgment day. A knight there in the company of his fellows. Biblical references engraved into the tomb edge to guide his way to the next world, I guess. A stone knight lay on the church floor. Just think, there's a dead guy under there.
That's a bit mad.
The second stone knight in a row of 4 lay on the church floor. I was surprised Philip le Bel had left this place alone.
Do these 4 and then this one.
A stone knight lay in full stone armor, blank eyes looking at the ceiling. Carrying all that armor around must have been hard work. A stone knight lay at the end of a row of 4. I wondered if this guy had died in combat. A statue of a knight holding a staff and a scroll. The statue had any secrets. It was concealing them pretty well.
We know this goes with a tripod. Yeah, okay. Well, let me look at a hint. I'm inclined to go back to the woman's apartment. Make inquiries at the poste de police. Eh? That's telling me to go back to the police station. Why would I do that? Oh, I'd already made all the inquiries I could. Unless I'm going to tell on that police officer who's drinking, meaning that he won't be here and then I can do the manhole cover. The only thing I can think of. Maybe it's that.
Excuse what is wrong?
Yeah.
Yes.
One moment.
But I should also maybe talk about the diamond and stuff.
It's Stobart, monsieur.
Thank. What?
Yeah, it must be.
What do you make of this, Inspector?
Astounding. Where did you come by a stone like that?
I was given it by a man in a bar in Ireland. Do you recognize the gem?
It is unfamiliar to me. If such a jewel had been stolen, I would know it for sure.
Does the name Thomas Merlin mean anything to you?
No, monsieur, nothing.
It's another one of the assumed names used by the killer.
Ah, the famous killer clown case.
Yeah. You might have forgotten all about it, but I still aim to find that guy.
What more am I meant to say?
What do you make of this?
It is.
So long.
Now I've got to wait for him to sit down. Okay. Where's the apartment? Okay. Show him the stuff then.
What the?
Maybe not. Okay.
Does the name...
Nothing, miss.
Do you recognize...
No,
It's the guy who bombed...
this man.
is taking off his...
Then there is nothing.
Nothing? See you later, sir.
What other inquiries can be made? I mean, I've spoken to him. Done all the dialogue options. Before we get another hint, I'll just go back to the apartment. Why are some of them blacked out? It means I can't go there anymore. Really, I should tell you what the inspector said. He's still here. Yes, okay.
Hi, Nico.
What are you sounding so chipper about?
I'm full of the joys of the fall.
Oh. Interesting.
I can't imagine why.
Because Sergeant Moo has given me another lead. The guy who was supposed to collect the gem, Jacques Marquet.
You found him!
He's in a hospital here in Paris. I guess that was the killer's doing, to stop him meeting Pegram.
Maybe. Are you going to try to talk to Marquet?
What have I got to lose?
Plenty.
Have you found out any more about the Knights Templar?
Yes, I have. The guy responsible for the downfall was Philippe IV, the King of France, otherwise known as Philippe le Bel.
I've heard of him.
Well, he is known to history as Philippe the Fair, but I doubt if the Templars called him that.
Probably not.
I'm sure André will tell you all about him.
Okay.
See you soon.
I have to leave straight away. Okay. Is that going to be on the map now, maybe, the hospital? Not sure. Is the hint unlocked yet? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Ask Sergeant Moo about Marquet. And then head to the hospital. Well, which one's Moo? Is that the one in the police station? I can't... Is that Sergeant Moo?
It was Rosso's side.
Yeah, right.
What the...
Can't.
See-
Unless I can go to the hospital now. I can go to the hospital now. I'm an idiot. Okay. I just didn't update it.
The old building managed to retain some of its original grandeur, but the modern additions looked like a baseball cap on a statue of a medieval saint.
True.
There was no sign of the crew of the ambulance. I felt a little guilty as I tried the door, like I was about to rob a grave. I gripped the handle with an involuntary tremble in my hand and pulled. The door was locked.
Okay, well that's fine. I didn't ask you to break into it. Okay.
The young man's face was full of eagerness and enthusiasm. I figured he was fresh from college.
He's on a little patrol.
Hi, my name's George Stobart.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
Call me George if you like.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's my name.
My name's Benoit, but everyone calls me Bunny.
Bunny?
That's right. I used to have this cute habit when I was a kid.
Keep it to yourself, Benoit. Do you know anything about a patient named Marquet?
No, sir, I don't know much about any of the patients.
I've never met a doctor who admits that he's only human.
I'm only a trainee, sir. I'm sure I'll get the hang of things.
Shake my hand, Benoit.
I don't think that's a good...
How come?
Dermatitis.
I don't have...
I do.
Oh, okay. I can't get anyone to shake my hand.
See you later.
Right.
I need to know where he is.
The woman managed to look overworked and hassled, though she didn't appear to be doing anything.
Yeah, the screen's not even on.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Is this the Hagenmeyer Clinic?
That's correct.
I thought I was in a garden center.
Oh, the
this is
plants.
Bronstone.
They were my idea. A little greenery to evoke the spirit of nature. How may I help you?
Has Marquet been visited by a man in a clown costume?
Oh, no.
You haven't seen a man in disguise?
Well, there's Theodore the bear. He comes every Thursday to entertain the children. Personally, I think he scares them half to death in that crummy old bear suit. If I was stuck on my back with tubes in every orifice, he's the last person I'd want to see.
Has Marquet had a visit from a pair of gangsters?
I should hope not. Can you describe them?
A thin guy who looks like a weasel and his friend, a gorilla.
Sounds as if they escaped from a zoo.
I'm here to see Jacques Marquet.
Oh, yes. Are you related to our client, sir?
Yeah, I'm his, long-lost brother.
A brother half his age with a different name and an American accent.
Yeah, people always say that. I blame Mom. We were separated at an early age, after a mix-up in the nursery at the Oakland shopping mall.
I've
Very
never
believable.
heard anything so ridiculous in all my life.
I guess not. So, do I get to see Marquet before the funeral?
That attitude will get you nowhere. My instructions were quite clear. No one gets to see Marquet. So unless you can prove you're a relative or a close acquaintance, you're wasting your time here.
I mean, he was meant to collect
What does this gem suggest to you?
I advise you not to flash that around. The hospital insurance wouldn't cover it if it was stolen.
Look at this ID pass.
So you're Merlin. Marquet's been asking for you.
For me?
Yes. He was shouting your name when they brought him in here.
Okay, that'll do. Even though that's
Now,
probably
let
who
me see.
injured him and
He
who
was
he's
on
terrified
Ward
of.
B12, as I recall.
Well, there is no B12.
Oh, he's being transferred to... Oh, dear. He's on Ward J2. That's
Oh dear.
Nurse Grendel's ward.
Who?
What's so bad about Nurse Grendel?
She runs that ward like a South American prison.
Keeping a well-disciplined ward isn't a crime, is it?
Well disciplined. In the discipline and punishment stakes, she'd whip the butt off the Marquis de Sade. Everything, I mean everything, is done to a strict routine. 6 o'clock, alarm call. 6:10, bowel movement, and woe betide anyone who doesn't have a result. Those patients of hers are like Pavlova's dogs.
Pablo.
She sounds like a real nightmare.
And then some.
If Nurse Grendel is that bad, how come the authorities tolerate her?
She's like part of the furniture.
Oh, you mean she's been here a long time?
No, I mean there's not a man in this clinic who hasn't sprawled out on her.
I was beginning to get the picture. This woman was jealous, with a big green capital J. How do I find Nurse Grendel's ward?
Down the corridor on the left, turn right at the senior consultant's washroom. Right again at the executive coffee lounge. Bear left past the administrator's sauna.
What?
And turn left at the end. That's J2.
Right, left, left.
And good luck.
Mad.
Thanks for your help, ma'am.
You're welcome.
I haven't talked to this guy yet.
The guy seemed to be practicing his air of authority. Today, he was working on his withering stare.
Hello.
Hi, my name's George Stovard.
Really? If you wish to make an appointment, see the receptionist.
Brilliant. Why are
Thanks
you
for your...
here? Let's go. Right.
As I turned the corner, I saw the source of the hellish noise which
wondering what that
echoed
was.
through the corridors. It was an industrial polishing machine with an odd-looking guy in tow. He looked blissfully happy, for no apparent reason. Hello.
What's that?
I said hello.
Oh, hiya.
I'd like to talk to you for a minute.
That's what I thought you said. Don't look so down in the mouth. No matter how bad things seem, I never let life get on top of me.
Oh, yeah? What's your secret?
Why, it's easy. All you have to do is smile and whistle this little tune.
You know what? If you start whistling, I'll bust you in the teeth.
It's a deal.
Damn.
Do you know a nurse called Grendel?
Sure I do.
Is she on duty today?
Yeah. End of the corridor, Ward J2.
Have you seen any unsavory characters lurking about in the corridors?
No, sir, I haven't. But I've got nothing to worry about. What's that, Mr. Shiny? You'd take good care of the rascals, I'll bet you would. With a friend like him, I've no fear of oppressors.
It must be a great comfort.
He is.
Would Mr. Shiny be your polishing machine by any chance?
Please, don't call him that. He's more of a friend than a machine. I've had Mr. Shiny for 3 years, and he's never let me down once.
How come you got so attached to a polishing machine?
I asked you not to call him that. He's got a name, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Shiny. It's just that...
You think it's odd, don't you?
No,
I don't mind. The rest of the staff think I'm twisted. I heard them snorking behind my back when I gave Mr. Shiny his weekly pull through.
Whatever you've got with this metal mopfoot is probably a fine and noble thing.
It is? Say, it's not every day I meet someone as crazy as me.
Do you know where I'd find a patient called Marquet?
No, I'm not allowed on the wards with Mr. Shiny.
See you later.
Yeah?
I mean, there's lots of other places I want to look at.
The door didn't have a sign or label or any...
Hey now,
How come?
I'm responsible for the...
Cupboard, okay. What's in here? Interesting. Well, it was right, left, so I'm assuming it's going to be down there. How bizarre.
I guess the water cooler was for the use of people lost in the corridors. Maybe the face of the unaccountably happy domestic had made me unduly suspicious. I mean, I knew it was only my imagination, but the water tasted, well, peculiar.
What kind of peculiar?
The connector in the socket supplied electricity to the polishing machine.
Oh.
As I tugged the
let me go
plug
into this
out of
room.
the socket, the polishing machine coughed, spluttered, and died.
Mr. Shiny, what's wrong, pal?
Get in there, get in there, get in there, get in there, get in there. What are you doing? Get in this room. Can't move. Why can't I move? Get in that room now. Thank you.
Dr. Stobart at your service.
Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. What's down here then? I'm just going to come out by there. Yes. And the other way to go is this way. Well, this'll be it.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Oh, hi. Is this Ward J2?
Yes, sir. The patients are ready for your inspection, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse. Well, who's first?
Monsieur Croquet in bed 2.
What's his problem?
He's been complaining of loss of consciousness. You'll need this, Doctor.
She gave me a long, narrow metal box and a stunning smile. Thanks.
Oh, God.
Hi, I'm Dr. Stobart.
Hello, Doctor.
The nurse told me you keep losing consciousness.
That's right. I've had the problem as long as I can remember. It's a real out-of-body experience. Like death, but not so conclusive.
I see. How long does it last?
Just a fraction of a second, and then I recover.
I might not have been a doctor, but I was formulating a diagnosis all the same. This guy was nuts. I know exactly what you mean. It's known in the medical field as blinking.
Is it serious?
Of course it isn't serious. It's perfectly natural.
But just think, 2 seconds every minute? Why, that's almost half an hour every day. 2 weeks out of every year spent in total darkness.
I don't have time to listen to this baloney.
Mm-hmm. Where's this guy?
Which bed is Marquet in?
Why isn't he here?
He's round the corner, in solitary.
What's the matter with him?
I don't know, but the men who brought him in were wearing masks and rubber gloves. Hey, you're a doctor. How come you don't know?
We doctors don't know everything.
Then how come you act like you do?
Has Marquet had any visitors?
Nah, neither have I. That's the worst thing about being in hospital. You feel like the rest of the world has abandoned you.
Well, you know how it is. Life goes on.
Thanks for those comforting words.
Do you know what this piece of equipment is called?
No, I don't.
I thought it was a blood pressure thing, but then there's a temperature gauge for some reason.
Well, goodbye and good luck.
Thanks, Doc.
Okay.
The guy was sick. His face was the same shade of gray as the pillow beneath his head. I wondered whether I ought to call the nurse.
What's his medical chart saying?
According to the chart, this guy was called Croquet. The graph showed a steady decline in his pulse rate and an increase in his blood pressure. It kind of shook me to see this guy's life reduced to a few jagged lines.
Okay, do I tell her my diagnosis?
Could you take a look at the client in bed number 3 now? His name is Eric Sopmarsh.
What's his problem?
He's delirious. He just now came out of theater. He's recovering from major surgery.
I'll have him up and about before you can say, Lazarus, get out of your bed and walk.
Come on then, Saltmarsh.
Hello? Anybody home?
Who are you?
My name is Dr. Stobart, and I'm here to steer you down the rocky road to recovery.
Dr. Monroe said there was no cure for what I've got.
Your problem is you stayed in bed too long.
Are you sure you're a qualified doctor?
You better believe it. What can you tell me about Marquet?
He's the man in the private room, isn't he? That room was mine before I was tossed out like a common squatter.
Do you know what's wrong with Marquet?
They won't even say what's wrong with me. Tell me, Doctor, what's your opinion?
It's too early to say.
But I've been here for 3 months.
What's your impression of Nurse Grendel?
She's a very efficient young woman.
Yeah, she's not at all like
Efficient?
the receptionist was
You make her
describing.
sound like a vacuum cleaner.
I've no complaints.
Well, I mean, the timing things might be true, but seems pleasant.
The woman in reception described Nurse Grendel as a monster.
Well, that's simply not true.
Okay.
She's quite strict, but that's her job, isn't it? You've got to have discipline in a place like this.
I'm going to take your blood pressure.
Why?
I'm a doctor. It's my job. See you later.
I mean, I'm not curing anyone.
The name on the chart was Sopmarsh.
Yeah.
His temperature was normal, with little fluctuation either way.
Doctor,
What is it now, nurse?
number 2 again. He won't tell me what he wants. He says he'll only talk to a man.
Do I have to? That guy's nuts.
Doctor, I'm surprised at you. There's no way to talk about our clients.
Okay, I'll see him. But I'm telling you, he's a hypochondriac.
The guy who thinks blinking is not normal.
Hello again. Do you know what this piece...
No,
He doesn't want to talk to me at all.
Does this...
No, don't.
Have you?
No, don't.
He doesn't want to talk to me.
Well,
Thanks.
You liar. Oh, come here. Are you chatting shit about he didn't want to talk to me at all?
do you have any clowns on the ward?
Why, yes, we do. A professional clown.
I'll bet he lightens the place up.
Hardly. Monsieur Boissy has been in a coma for the last 3 months.
What's wrong with Boissy?
He was involved in a very nasty accident. A silly stunt involving a unicycle. His current condition is due to post-traumatic shock. It's unlikely he'll ever perform as a clown again.
It's an ill wind that blows nobody any good. Do you have a patient named Marquet on this ward?
Oui, monsieur. He is in the private room at the end of the ward. He has been placed in strict isolation.
Why is Marquet in quarantine?
If you wish to know more, you'll have to speak to Herr Hagenmeier. All I know is that Marquet's room is strictly out of bounds.
Do you know who paid for Marquet's room?
No, of course I don't.
Preferential treatment like that must cost an arm and a leg.
That's not my concern, monsieur.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir.
I should probably do the last patient. No?
The poor guy's temperature had been up and down like a white knuckle ride. No wonder he looked so sick.
What's his name?
The name on the chart was Boissy.
Why does that name ring a bell?
Doctor,
Oh,
What is it?
you haven't taken my blood pressure.
shit. I thought I had. Why would I have to click it again to take it? Do I know what I'm doing is the question. Happy?
Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it right.
Of course I am.
No, you're not. Dr. Monroe never did it like that.
I can't take a satisfactory reading while you're excited like this. I'll come back later.
That's weird.
Oh, doctor,
What now?
you didn't finish taking my blood pressure.
Hmm.
Okay, let...
You don't have the first idea what you're doing, do you?
I'll come back when you've recovered your manners. Hi.
Do I have to keep doing this? What is this? What's happening right now? You need a second opinion. What does that mean? Second opinion on what?
Pardon me, nurse.
Oui, monsieur.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir,
I
monsieur.
need to pee very quickly. 2 seconds. Okay. At least that helped. wind the clock down a little bit, but you need a second opinion. I mean, let me just try and walk over it again, or is this going to keep telling me to do his blood pressure?
You haven't finished.
Will you keep quiet? You're disturbing the other patients.
I'll keep quiet when you've taken my blood pressure properly.
I have to see Jacques Marquet first.
How come he gets preferential treatment? It's because he's got money, isn't it?
It's not like that. I'll come back when you've dealt with that chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, so let's go. Oh, I'm putting
You haven't
sedatives in
finished
your
taking my...
fucking drip. Is this I need a second opinion on taking blood pressure?
Will you keep quiet?
Can't get to Marquet without completing my round. You need a second opinion. Oh, can I ask her about the blood pressure thing?
We must...
What is...
It's for taking the patient...
I mean, you should know that. That's
Thank
not
you,
what-
nurse.
Of one...
Maybe you'll tell me how to do it.
Hello.
Nah,
Never mind. Then I'm going to
Thanks.
have to leave. Get a second opinion of someone else, but surely as soon as they see me in the doctor's robe, they're gonna pull me out. You'll talk to me.
Hey, Benoit.
There's no need to What do you want?
Do you know the nurse on Ward J2?
No, miss. This is my first day here. I can't wait to get my hands dirty. I was talking about treating my first patient, of course. I didn't mean to get my hands dirty with a nurse.
What do you know about this piece of equipment?
It's a device for measuring blood pressure.
Oh my god, is someone going to tell me how
See
to
you later.
fucking use it or what?
Excuse you.
there
I
we
must
go.
be. Well, stop wandering about and make yourself useful. Bernie, come here, boy. This is Benoit, my nephew. Can I trust you to look after him?
Do your own babysitting, Gramps. Who do you think you are, anyhow?
I am Felix Hagenmeyer.
Oh, I need to speak to you.
May I say what an
Yeah.
honor it is to meet you in person, sir. You are on my medical wall of fame. Right up there with Pasteur and Leary. I look on it as a privilege, no, an honor, to look after your nephew, sir.
He is fresh out of medical school. It will open his eyes to see a real doctor on the job.
I'll bet.
Show him around. Let him see some real suffering.
Look what Nurse Grendel gave me, sir.
Ah, yes, very good. I'm glad to see you're carrying it with you. It reassures the public to see the medical profession using traditional archaic tools.
Still not
So
getting a
long,
second
Hagen.
opinion.
Hey,
Send me
Benoit.
dialogue with you?
There's no... What do you...
No.
Forget it.
Well, whose second opinion am I meant to get? Ah, right, okay, so, yeah, use this as a teaching opportunity, so hopefully we'll go. He can distract the patient whilst I go. Oh, good, I skipped it. Hello.
Do you want this?
Device for...
Yeah, do you want...
No.
What do you want?
Thank you, nurse.
Of one...
I didn't want to talk to her anyway. Right, let's just try walking past, see if anything new triggers.
You haven't...
Yes, come over here.
Will you keep...
Hey, Benoit.
Yes,
Checking
Here.
blood pressure.
thank you, sir. What do you want?
Well, keep it
Do
safe
his.
until I...
No, do his.
Are you ready with that?
Prime? What?
Ooh, right, no, yes, you.
Use it on Eric Submarsh.
Okay.
Go. Yes. Yes. Happy fucking days, right then.
He sat like a statue of a sack of potatoes, but the cop's eyes were as watchful as a hawk's.
I'm Dr. Stobart.
Bonjour, docteur.
Have you seen any suspicious characters on the ward?
Yeah, I have.
A gorilla and a weasel?
No, this was a tatty old bear.
How was the bear acting suspiciously?
Well, he was wearing a homburg.
Is that against the law?
No, but it's pretty weird for a bear.
Don't you think it's possible that the bear was a man in disguise?
Well, obviously, I'm not completely stupid. But who would go to the bother of disguising himself as a bear? It's not as if he'd blend in with the surroundings. I checked with base to see if any bears had been reported missing from the zoo or a traveling circus. They told me to sit tight until reinforcements arrive. I guess they're right. I'd be stupid to tackle a bear single-handed.
Very true. Absolute waffle.
Have you heard of a guy called Marquet?
He's in quarantine, Doc, right behind this here door.
Marquet is just the man I wanted to see.
I wouldn't go in there if I was you. He has anthrax.
I have to visit my patient.
What for?
Routine. I have to check he's still breathing.
What if he's not?
I'll sign the certificate and register his bed as vacant.
That's a cold and distant attitude to death.
Oh, my
Well,
doctor.
I've been institutionalized to the point of godlike aloofness.
The white coat suits you.
Thanks. Catch you later, officer.
Au revoir, Doc. If you see that bear,
Of course. I'm going in.
rather you than me, pal.
I don't think he's got anthrax at all. I think that someone's just trying to keep people away from him. Okay.
Another graph, another life. On the top of the chart was his name, Jacques Marquet. I didn't need to be a doctor to read the graphs. Marquet was dying. Marquet's slim hold on life was being measured, monitored, and maintained by the machinery on the rack. The machine was far too complex.
That's fair. Oof.
The bottles were full of liquid, with a little trail of bubbles rising to the surface.
Don't like that.
I figured Marquet's life depended on those bottles, so I decided not to disturb them.
Enjoy a private healthcare experience trophy.
Marquet was either peacefully sleeping or placidly dead. Rousing him in the latter case would take a miracle. Marquet?
Yes, I am Marquet. I've been expecting you.
You have?
Well, what
He thinks I'm
are
gonna kill
you
him.
waiting for? Get it over with.
I just want to know what I should do with the gem.
The Lahmar gem.
Yeah, right here in my pocket.
I thought you were one of the assassins.
Not me. I never inhaled.
So, you were sent in my place?
Yeah. You could hardly make the trip to Ireland in your condition. What should I do with the gem?
Deliver it to the Grandmaster. Quickly, tell him that I have found the tripod.
What's in the museum?
Right here in Paris.
What, you have it?
Not yet, but it's being taken care of. I hired a couple of stooges
Oh no.
with a flair for
The
petty
weasel and the
crime.
gorilla.
Would that be Flap and Guido by any chance?
You know them?
We've met. What about the Hashashin?
Is more likely to have followed Klausner. He'll stop at nothing to prevent the reforging of the sword.
And that's bad, is it?
As for Klausner, he has gone off to Syria on a wild goose chase.
They have geese in Syria?
He
Oh shit.
has a theory about the location of the...
That's enough excitement for one day, Monsieur Marquet. What are you doing here?
Talking to this patient, of course.
Monsieur Marquet is my patient. Herr Hagenmeier was to hear that.
Okay, I'm going. I'd learned all I could from Marquet anyhow.
Mm-hmm. I don't like his chances though. Hmm.
Ah, there you are, sir. I was just coming to look for you. I finished with your pressure gauge.
Thanks.
Thanks, Bunny.
What's that noise? It sounds as if someone's having a cardiac arrest.
It's all right. The doctor's in there with him.
It's not a doctor.
Are you sure he was a doctor?
No.
Oui, monsieur. He showed me his ID. It was Dr. Braille.
There's no Dr. Braille working here.
He's an imposter. The door's locked. Help me, officer.
Shit.
Stand back, monsieur.
He's gone. Damn. I told you I didn't like his chances. I told you. Good thing we spoke to him first. God, it fast.
I found Jacques
Little
Marquet.
things like this are very good.
Did he talk?
Yeah, he talked. For the very last time.
He's dead.
Yeah, killed in cold blood by a bogus doctor.
That's despicable. What kind of guy would pass himself off as a doctor and take advantage of a dying man?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Khan?
No, I don't know who he was, but it certainly wasn't Khan. He got away, out the window. Have you ever heard of the Hashiashin?
No.
Marquet said that they were his biggest enemy.
His biggest enemy was the bogus doctor.
Don't remind me. That guy was evil. He had wild, staring eyes like a dead fish. I'll never trust a doctor again. Do you think the assassin was responsible for killing Marquet?
I don't think so. He could have finished him off the first time. Besides, Marquet would have recognized him.
He was pumped to the gills with sedatives. He wouldn't have recognized the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse unless they'd introduced themselves.
Hmm.
I guess I'd better go back and talk to that weirdo.
Which one? Rosso or
weirdo?
Sergeant Mou?
No.
Oh, but you're referring to Andre.
I'll let you work it out.
Okay, so I either need to go back to the museum or the police station, by that logic. They usually give a little bit of a hint at the end of these dialogues in this apartment of where I'm meant to go next. Okay, so I've kept the blood pressure thing. We'll try the police station first, seeing as we're right next to it.
Excuse me.
What the...
Have you ever heard of the Hashashin, Sergeant?
What was that?
The cult of the assassins.
What are you trying to say, Stobart?
That the clown is a member of that cult.
I see. And what proofs do you have?
Proof? I arrived at my conclusion through logical deduction and...
Pseudo-intellectual people. Leave the investigation of crime to those who know best. The police.
Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to
I
speak
do.
to him?
I do.
Yes, I do.
One moment, monsieur. Stobart is here to see you, monsieur.
Did he say what it was about?
No, monsieur.
No.
Very well.
Come on.
What now, monsieur?
Oh, nothing apparently.
No.
Right, okay, sorry. I was just trying to look.
So long,
something
Inspector.
up. Okay. Looks like we are going back to the museum.
You have left it very late, monsieur.
Late for what?
Anything? I am closing the museum soon. You wouldn't like to get locked in. I can tell you. Not in this gallery.
Why not?
It is haunted, monsieur.
You don't believe in ghosts, surely.
Oh, yes, I do. 7 years ago, a lad
What, I didn't
managed
know.
to hide in here. It made a bet with his friends, I suppose. When I found him in the morning, he was cold as ice and stiff as a board.
Well, what was the cause of death?
They said it was a brain tumor. But on his face was a look of stark, desperate terror such as I have never seen before.
Scary.
What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century, the Houdini of his time.
Don't you mean alchemist? Escapologists use ropes, chains, and handcuffs, not tripods.
But whatever he was, that is the tripod he used in his experiments.
What kind of experiments did John Dee perform with his tripod?
Oh, the usual. Didn't you study chemistry at school?
Yeah, but we skipped over thaumatology. Can I take a closer look at the tripod?
What? Get it out of the case? No! That tripod is protected by a sophisticated surveillance system.
How sophisticated?
A painfully loud alarm bell.
How is the alarm bell triggered?
By the slightest pressure on or movement of any part of the case wherein
Noted.
that tripod is situated.
It strikes me that to call your alarm system sophisticated is, well, stretching the truth a little.
It has never failed yet. The sophistication is in its simplicity.
The sign on the tripod says it was found at a Templar preceptory.
It does.
Yeah, it doesn't mention John Dee at all.
Most remiss.
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't. I never had much of a start in life, you see. I owe what little education I gained to my uncle. He was an optician, but he also doubled as the village school teacher. He taught me the alphabet. Well, 19 letters of it. The bottom row of the chart was too small even for him to read, so he left them out.
Why don't you start over and enroll for adult education?
You know, I never thought of that. Do you think if I studied hard and did all my homework, I could be a professor of history?
You could be
At
whatever
your
you want,
age?
mate.
Dream on.
Well,
I thought the original inhabitants of Paris were a tribe known as the Parisi.
That is right, monsieur. Renowned for their pots. You see, in those days, people didn't have much in the way of possessions. A few flints, some animal skins, maybe the odd bone or two. Naturally, when the Parisi came along with their pots, why, everybody wanted one.
I guess they must have caused a kind of consumer frenzy.
Ah oui, they connect the market, cleaned up.
You don't know the first thing about those pots, do you?
No, monsieur.
Very convincing, though.
Thanks.
Alright, let's do lobbing out and then I'm hiding.
Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie.
Have you ever heard of the Hashashin?
Why, yes, it was a radical Muslim sect whose name became synonymous with murder. It was formed in 11th century Persia, shortly before the Crusades.
At roughly the same time as the Templars.
Yes, they gave a new word to our language, Assassini, the assassins.
That's cool.
How did the assassins get their name?
From the legends surrounding the secrets of their initiation rites. A young man who sought to join the sect was given hashish until he drifted into dreams.
Mm-hmm.
He awoke to find himself in a fabulous garden with everything he could wish for. The freshest water, the most delicious food, the choicest hash, and the most delectable women imaginable.
Cool. Do you have the address?
I haven't finished the story. There was a price to pay for this taste of paradise.
Wouldn't you just know it?
The young man would wake the next day to find himself back in the real world. He was told that he'd been given a glimpse of the heaven reserved for holy martyrs. A heaven he would enjoy for eternity if he was willing to join the Hashashin.
How did the assassins operate?
Well, as I explained, the new recruits would be only too willing to die for the cause. They'd be instructed in the use of the dagger, poisons, and disguise. Then, the Grand Master of the sect would name an enemy of Allah.
And they'd stop at nothing to eliminate that enemy.
You got it. They were fearless and deadly.
Does the cult of the assassins still exist?
Take a look around at the world today. You tell me.
I think you ought to know that the tripod is going to be stolen.
The Lochman tripod? No.
It's true. I can give you a description of the thieves.
Before the supposed event has taken place?
I heard them planning the raid.
They're wasting their time. The tripod is protected by a state-of-the-art alarm system.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Why don't you loan the tripod to me for safekeeping?
Because I'd never see it again.
But don't you trust me?
It's not a question of trust, George. That tripod is hundreds of years old and extremely fragile.
I get your point.
Okay.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Now we'll just wait for the security guard to move away from here. We'll open the window. When he goes to close it, getting in that sarcophagus. Get over here. And wait. He goes. Three, two, one. Closing time. Closing time?
It is closing time, Monsieur Lobineau.
Already, there just aren't enough hours in the day.
More than enough for me. I can't wait to get home and put my feet up.
Eh bien, see you tomorrow.
Good night, Monsieur.
Hours pass. Here we go.
Hey, Guido!
Look at this!
Quit fooling around, you moron! Get your ass over here and bring that flashlight.
What am I doing?
Oh,
Oh,
Guido!
why did I
What's
move?
the big idea, you dummy? Shine the light down here.
The mummy! It's come alive!
If that's a mommy, I'm glad I'm an orphan.
Right. Well, when did I save? Okay. I get back in. So I just tried to look at Guido. Or Guido.
Oh, Guido!
What am I meant
What's
to
the
do
big
here?
idea, you dummy? Shine.
Blah, 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 blah. I'm dead. Okay. Hmm. If I do nothing, they do nothing. So what am I meant to do here? If I look, I die.
What the?
Interesting.
Who's there?
Let's get out of here!
Who the fuck is that? Back in Nico's apartment.
And when I woke up, I was at the police station. Luckily, I managed to persuade Rosso I was innocent.
Poor George.
What a mess. I bungled the whole thing.
I don't think so. You made a pretty good job of distracting those two crooks.
Yeah, but the killer got away with the tripod.
No, he didn't. He's not the only one who can dress up in costume.
You mean
It was her.
it was you who stole the tripod? Oh, hell, Nico. I could have been shot.
Those dogs are more likely to shoot their own feet.
I just wish you'd told me your plans. We're supposed to be in this together. But how come you dressed up like a pantomime cat?
Don't sulk, Georgie, please.
Oh, rats. And don't call me Georgie.
Oh, I really thought you'd be pleased. After all, we've got the tripod. Aren't you going to try putting the gem on the tripod?
I guess so. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
The gem fits perfectly, but what does that prove?
I love that.
Maybe the tripod has to be in a certain location.
There's nothing on the manuscript to indicate where, though, is there?
Oh, by the way, I had a visit from André Lobineau.
Oh, yeah. I hope you didn't mind me giving him your address.
Not at all.
No.
It was lovely to see him again.
Again.
He was over the moon when I showed him the manuscript. It's not often he gets that excited. He made a sketch of the knight's crest to take back to the museum. I believe he's identified the family who bear that crest.
I sure hope so.
Hey.
Lobineau explained who the Hashashin were.
Yeah?
The cult of the assassins.
Oh, boy!
Let's take another...
So it's here, isn't it? So, yeah, it's shining down while he's chopping off the head of a...
That's the tripod we borrowed from the museum. That's the gem that...
So we've got two of them now, so we have to collect, I think, things from each one, maybe?
I have to go.
Already? You only just arrived.
Time and tide wait for no man.
Okay, I'll see you later.
I don't know where I'm going, so I'm going to have to do a hint. Usually they hint before I leave, but not this time. Maybe back to Lobino? Maybe back to Lobino? I want to say saved by surprise cat burglar. I want to say back to Lobino now. To get off the beaten path, you need fewer people in the plaza. Fewer people in the plaza. Oh, the manhole cover. For the... this one. Okay, so these people weren't here before.
There was a small crowd of 5 sightseers. It's a weird thing, but you can take the most intelligent people in the world, put them in their vacation duds, and hey presto, they look like morons. Why is that? The juggler was good. Why he couldn't put that kind of application into getting a real job, I had no idea. Maybe he just liked dressing up like a horse's ass. I had no desire to talk.
I need to get all of them away.
Hey, you with the ball.
Oui?
How did you learn to be a juggler?
Juggler? What is this juggler?
It's you. You juggle, that makes you a juggler.
No! I am a jongleur!
A jongler?
Right.
What's that?
Mon Dieu! A jongleur is an artist, a master of the contragravitic aeroballetic mysteries. In centuries past, the courts of the crowned heads of Europe had the jongleurs, witty, erudite men to whom the monarchs turned in their hours of need.
Wait a minute, wait. Let me get this straight. Our enemies are at the borders, plague ravages the land, and the peasants are revolting. Thank God we've got Chuckles the Jongler to throw his balls around. I don't think so. That juggling doesn't look so difficult.
Oh, it does not, does it not? Perhaps you feel you could do better, no?
I'll give it a try.
Be my guest.
I had no idea what I was doing. But this guy was obviously an idiot, so how difficult could it be?
Oh,
A lot more difficult than I thought. That's how difficult. Still, it was my big chance to be derided by complete strangers.
Not so easy after all, is it?
No, I guess not. What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Le Templier? Ah, the last Grand Master, Jacques Dumoulin, was burnt on an island in the Seine in 1314.
Wow. You're pretty well educated for a juggler.
No, monsieur. I read it.
Okay.
Catch you.
I can't talk to them.
I had no...
Well, I'll talk to him, and if there's nothing new, then I'm going to have to get a hint. How do I move all these people out of here?
Hello again. What do you think of the juggler?
Ah, he is excellent, most watchable.
But he's blocking the thoroughfare and obstructing traffic.
So? He is amusing. The traffic isn't. If he wants to block it, who am I to say no?
You're a cop.
Well, who are you saying I want to take the manhole cover off?
So I am...
So, you...
No.
He probably doesn't even have a license.
Ah, a license. This I had not considered.
So, what are you going to do?
The instant I return to the station, I shall check.
Return to the station? Why not just ask him?
And spoil his concentration. What kind of a barbarian do you take me for?
What do you know about... Have a look at this...
I try...
You mean...
No, ma...
I'll see you around.
Oui, ma...
Let's get a quick save in. And then a quick hint in. I can't. 30 seconds.
The juggler was good. Why he couldn't put that kind of app? Maybe he just liked...
Hi again.
Oui. And my uncle.
What?
It is.
Oui.
Okay.
Au revoir.
I have to wait for this hint. You can upstage the juggler somehow. He might leave.
Hi again.
Oui.
Look,
Ah.
a cloud.
No. It so you would be a much better jongleur.
For a moment, an idea capered around near the spotlight of my attention, but fell down the pothole of abstraction before I could focus on it.
Hi again.
Oui.
Look.
Oh, you. Does this green? I read. You are.
Well, I was distracted by the idea again. Caper, caper, caper. Plummet. No. Gone again.
Don't understand what I'm saying here.
It didn't seem right. Look.
No, I don't know.
Catch you later.
Au revoir.
That's going to be ages till I get another hint. You can upstage the juggler.
Hi again.
Oui.
Does this...
Where?
Forget it. Forget. In the middle of... I wondered if that...
I really have no idea. Let's just cycle all the
Hi
items I
again.
have with the juggler. Just to cross that off as an inquiry.
Oui.
This...
I do not.
Oh, I'm not self...
It is.
Okay, done those two.
Have you...
No.
Done the buzzer.
Does this...
You.
No, I don't...
In that case.
No, okay.
You what?
No.
You steal?
No.
Okay.
Unquite.
I think so.
Some people believe that great gems always have curses upon them.
Oh, that's garbage. Although, now that I think about it, both of the people who had this before me disappeared in mysterious circumstances. And the guy who was supposed to get this was shot and then murdered in his hospital bed. Do you want it?
No, thank you.
Done the powder. Done the blood pressure. Done the tripod.
Catch you later.
Au revoir.
How long have I got? 2 minutes. Was there a costume shop? Am I meant to beat him at his own game? I don't remember where it was, but there was some sort of shop where I found out, didn't I, where the guy got his outfits from. This way? I don't think it was this way.
Hi there.
Ah,
Who?
I'm... Ah, that reminds me. Came sniffing
Oh.
around just... He tried to tell me he was a policeman. Inspector Rousseau, he could... I didn't tell him I'd been talking to you. Not...
Thank goodness. A man with...
Yes, my father, he was always coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I take a lot of showers.
Oh, very good, monsieur.
Okay.
I have...
Good luck is...
Forgot I told him I was in the police. When's this hint come in 30 seconds? this. No. Okay. I think just wait for him. Speak to the juggler and try your hand at juggling. I tried that. No. Okay. Because I can't try and juggle again.
Hi
now,
again.
can
We.
I? There's no option.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
I can't wait for the bloody... Oh, I've loaded the wrong thing. Broken sword juggler. Right, close this off. Blah blah blah. So hang on. This is saying something about showing the nose to the policeman. Why would that be a thing?
Hello again, officer.
Hello?
Does this red nose...
Ah,
Do I look...
no. Nah, if I'd known you were... And
What do you mean?
whoever heard of a plainclothes clown?
He had a point. So you're saying that if I juggle badly with a red nose, I'd be the king of comedy. But if I juggle badly without it...
You look like a pathetic loon.
Okay, and then if I show this to him.
Hi again. We? Look.
Oh, you...
Okay. The clown knows the juggler, who will only then let you try to juggle. Okay, when you talk to the policeman, make a big thing how mistakes seem intentional, and that's why the crowd judges. That's how the little crowd look like idiots, and it turns out they were easily amused. How do I do it?
The juggler... Why he couldn't... Maybe he... Hi again.
There needs to be a dialogue option here, but there's not. Oh, now there is.
I'd like to...
You have gone...
No. Huh? Allow me to demonstrate.
If you insist.
I need to put the nose on.
Okay, now.
There we go.
The juggler was speechless with rage. You could have mistaken him for a mime. And without a word, he collected his balls and left in a fury.
Bye.
Hey! You forgot one of your balls! Hey! But he didn't hear. Better still, deprived of his entertainment, the gendarme decided maybe he ought to do some policing for a change.
Alright, you need to leave.
I had no desire to talk to...
Maybe you don't need to leave. Awesome. Down we go. have we here? Well, is going to have to wait until the next stream, because that is all I've got time for today. So, thank you very, very much for watching. Get out of here. And out of here. Change you back to that. The music on. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully next weekend will be the next stream. We'll carry on with this very fun game. So thank you very much for watching and have a nice rest of your weekend. Take care.